Hello, chat. Welcome back to Essentials TF. Welcome back to our coverage of the Winter 2025 season of ETF2L, aka Season 49 Premiership. It is the tail end of Week 5. There's still one more match before they let us go off into the next one, and tonight we're going to be looking at Forfence versus Venomcrest. A match that could have some potential to be interesting if Venomcrest want to do their upset stuff that they sometimes do, or it could be a roll. I guess we'll see. Before I get ahead of myself, though, hey, I'm Cerny, joined by Stu on production and the sick beater on the microphone. Hey, how you doing, man?
Thank you. I really hope you save that one later. Yeah, my feelings, man. My poor feelings. Already heard. Yeah, this has potential to be interesting, but
Yeah,
it's only I think it's going to be mostly interesting before we start the game because we don't
yeah,
quite know what to expect. There are four top teams in Prem right now that are all very clearly going to make it into playoffs, and those are Forfence, Mandem, Witness, and Antiside, and everyone else seems like they're just not quite on the same level. However, Forfence, they did recently tie up against Garda. They did. There was some Lucas Merc on scout shenanigans happening, and also tonight we've got some EDK on standing in for the demo man Delhi. I think so maybe there's a bit of wiggle room here, and also the last thing that the Venomcrest did was to take some points off of Dana's Tide Regime, who have looked pretty good. So yeah, there's definitely room here for Venomcrest to flex their muscles and do a bit of an upset. But I think the most likely result is just actually Forfence having a pretty breezy game.
yeah. That's what you would expect, right? I mean, they're the reigning champions of Prem currently, and to be fair, last season we were also wondering if they're even gonna make playoffs, right? They
Yes.
were also like stumbling quite a bit throughout the regular season last season. They were stumbling for a while, struggling to find points, and just barely made playoffs, and then had an incredible playoffs run after LAN and everything to just take it home, right? So who knows, right? Maybe they just continue the tradition of taking the regular season a bit more easygoing, just taking it chill, not trying to burn yourself out too quickly or anything like that. And at the end of the day, I still think even if they, for whatever reason, don't sweep tonight, right? They don't get the full 6 points. They're probably still making playoffs anyway. I think it's going to be more interesting to see what that shakes out to be for Venomcrest. Because I feel like if they want to still have a shot at maybe snatching a playoff spot, they need any points they can get at this point, right? If they
Yeah,
can
they
sneak
absolutely
away
need
a
to.
couple
Yeah.
here, they have a good chance, I think. Because I mean, next week they go up against Garda. That could be a tough match, and then they're up against Mandem. So like, this is their shot basically to get home anything. And if you can snatch it away from a team that we think is making playoffs pretty guaranteed, even better, right? And
Yeah,
on the
and
on the flip side, yeah, that also implies that some other teams like Anticide maybe stumbles a bit more as well. I guess that's something to be talked about in a couple of weeks' time, but I think
yeah,
it's their chance,
Forfence,
right?
they're almost the anti-Frenchy team where they always look really strong during the season, and then in the playoff they choke really hard and they don't win despite being the
Mhm.
best team, right? That's the normal Frenchy team. Whereas this is almost the opposite, where they seem to struggle throughout the entire season, and then in the playoff they just dial it up somehow and do really well. So if I was their coach, I was like, okay, maybe just start ramping up now. Just give
Just in
yourself a
case.
couple of weeks. Yeah, just to get ready and really be able to hit your stride in time. But yeah, maybe they're just not going to do that. But we'll see. Maybe there's just some mental switch in their brain that they can't consciously switch on and off. Right? It's just not a thing they can do. So it should be very interesting.
Yeah.
How big of an impact do you think it's going to have that Delhi is not here? It's going to be EDK. He's a bit of a DM savant, but how much has he played Demo Man? I wonder. I haven't seen him that much on that
I
class.
mean, if he's fluent in French, I'm sure he's gonna have a good time. If the team doesn't like, if you can slot in where there, fair enough, right? If he's actually fluent in French, or at least good enough that doesn't like destroy the dynamic too much, sure, right? No problem there. Um, I haven't seen him on demo much at all, though. To be fair, it is a very fair point. I mean, they must be confident enough to ask him to merc, right? I feel like
Yeah,
there's plenty of other players to go around, maybe even within the French community that they could have asked for the role. it could very well be that literally nobody else was available at all, right? And that EDK
Yeah.
was just the ultimate last fallback option. But I'm pretty sure if they chose him to Merc for this match, they probably have at least an ounce of confidence in his abilities to do fine, right? To do well
Yes.
enough. Um, will he maybe get outplayed by an actual demo player, aka Yak, on the other side? Perhaps. Yeah, maybe Yak is gonna, probably be the better demo in the server. But as long as EDK can perform fine, solidly enough, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that big of a deal. The rest of the Forfence team is a well-oiled machine. They'll work well enough around it. I don't think it's going to be hugely problematic for them. I think they'll do okay with them.
Time will tell what's going to happen there. We're about to go live in not too long here. And as we talked about, this is a match that we're very interested to see how it's going to shake out. I actually don't know the maps. It's going to be processed. We're on process right now, but it's going to be Sunshine, okay, second. So pretty standard maps overall, I think. It's going to be good scout maps, I would say, and good potential for soldiers to fly through chokes on both of them. So, yeah, I don't think that's going to, like, particularly favor one team over the other. Just when I think about the playstyle, yeah.
I think both teams have strong scout and soldier duos each. So, like, in a head-to-head, it's almost hard to tell which scout or soldier duo would be better. But I guess we'll just let the numbers, or let the performance do the talking. The teams are rolling out. The first map has started. We're going to be going live on Process, and we'll see if Venomcrest or Forfeits come out swinging straight away as the first mid goes underway. Yak a little bit faster to the rollout here. EDK caught out of position, but probably going to be met with some backup from his team sooner rather than later. And it's going to be on the soldiers to make the opening move here. Brugman going in deep for his bomb. Doesn't really land on anything, just gets the position set as the Mole follows up as well. Gets straight onto the medic, onto the Eon already, but he can't quite clean up the kill. He won't be able to get that one. And BNC are ready to clap back with their own aggression.
Brugman's in here. Somehow, oh my god, Eon's still alive. I can't believe he's managed to do this. EDK is doing some good spam there. Judah will get taken down, so the protective scout now is dead. It's just going to be a random pipe around the house. All right, sorry EDK for doubting you. I take it all back.
Maybe he's a DM savant on everything after all. That's an insanely clutch pipe there to keep Forfence in this mid, crucially in this round much rather, because Mula did go down as well. So keeping those Ubers equal, making sure that they're not going to be at a disad, and also get themselves that mid secured. On top of it, Forfence are going to be trying to move into second now. It's not going to be the easiest one to push.
Why is Varnu sitting in a corner on
the Putis?
Yeah, this is weird. He's fully revved up, but they can't hear him because it's a silent gun. He moves around, out to walk around this corner. Okay, he can see someone's being healed, so that kind of takes the surprise off. Okay, now they know. Dimu spots him out. Okay, all surprise is gone. I mean, you can still park your heavy on Spire. It's not the weakest thing. Oh, that's what's going on. This makes so much more sense now.
Yeah, they're running the crits for the laser beam heavy potentially. I mean, I guess with the surprise factor gone, Warren is just going to opt to go back instead, and they're going to rock this on the Yak sticky crits potentially instead. I mean, fair enough. It's certainly a tried and true method. It may very well work, but the longer they take, the likelier it is for Forfence to be ready for it. Not really get surprised by it. Matter of fact, maybe it was even called at this point. Maybe they just saw what Eon is rocking, right? And they're ready to just go in for a push themselves. Demol is in with the bomb already. Doesn't quite get anything done, but at least a little bit of an opener, a bit of a flashbang.
Tyrion's on banner as well, by the way. He's on the Conqueror. That should be... I mean, I guess that's just one crit rocket. You built that thing, right? That's also an option. But right now, Eon, he's just sitting around playing like they have Uber. And Dimul might have spotted that it's crit screen now, so there's always a chance. He's in spawn. Okay, we're just checking. I don't think they realize they have the Uber ad, because he is just going on sniper and gonna take it slow.
I feel like they would have gone now if they'd known that there's a crits on the other side here. They're really playing it safe on the side of Forfence, not wanting to take the risk, because as soon as you Uber in a couple of people, that crits is doing nothing, right? So
yeah,
they're being slow with it. They're going for that sniper play out of sewer here instead, seeing if they can just catch somebody out of position. Obviously, VNC now aware of this threat coming their way as well, and a little bit more set back on their positions, which, well, maybe enables Forfence to finally move in and just get themselves some more grounds. But if the Mool just hits a nice shot, that could also turn things around. Varnu going down, just dying to QB, for instance, opens things up, but the Conscious out for Tyrim as well. They just catch the Mool out right away.
Yeah, there's just a scout in here caught out, I thought, but it looks like it's actually Tyrim that's the one being caught. Instead, you're gonna go down. It's really unfortunate that just using your Uber like that gains you nothing. So now it's just going to be Forfeits moving in here, about to force out this crits. Well, I was going to say they're about to exchange Ubers, but there is no Uber to exchange. It's just crit streak. Yak, can he get out? The answer is no. QB hits those pistols, and now it's just beginning to roll out. And yeah, this is the bad part about sitting back with a crit streak. I assume they were trying to be sneaky here, but it has not worked out.
They sat on it for so long, waiting to have a moment to strike and just never getting aggressive with it whatsoever means you're just basically wasting the entirety of it. And now Forfeits are gonna have a pretty easy road into last year as well. To be fair, there's some spawners from Venomcrest, so they're putting up a fight as well. That point is not getting a lot of pressure on it just yet. Spawners are here. No soldiers for the side of Forfeits means that point pressure is going to be ever so slightly slower. Yak might get caught in spawn. He does eventually, but everybody else from Forfeits is pressured out. They can't continue pushing this point, and they just have to back out for now. They have an Uber soon, though.
Yeah, they don't really lose much. There's actually a soldier out there immediately. Wow, nice little surf there from Mula. Doesn't really give him a chance to hit the second one. Yeah, Tyrion, he knew he had to do something there in order to maybe get a cheeky force out. But now they're just going to have to deal with this big move with this take down Synagogue immediately. Don't even need to deal with that. They can just put pressure on the point immediately. Look at that. Just parking Evo on it, flashing him as everyone comes in. Yak goes down. Just needs to breathe on the point he does so, and that's going to be that. Pretty clean pushing here. Well, a re-pushing, I should say. The first push kind of failed, but they managed that really beautifully, and that's going to be a 1-0 head start here for Forfeits.
Yeah, easily off the back of the Uber ad. Eventually they get there, even if it took them a while to realize. They probably could have rounded that out about 2 minutes sooner had they known about the crit streak. But hey, they win the first round anyway. Venomcrest gotta find their way back into this match, find a way to clap back and pick up another round for themselves. But for now it's gonna be another mid fight. And again, Yak slightly faster, gets the pack first on the demo exchange here, but that's not necessarily everything. It's going to be on the soldiers again to maybe open things up. And both of the soldiers have done both teams a jump. But Tyrion will be the first to fall. The Mule and Rouge went deep as well on their sides. But the Mule has paid with his life, traded out. And it's just endless back and forth, peeking and prodding. No soldiers now for either side. Eon ate a lot of damage for a while. He's out of position. QB is just right in his face. Gets that medic frag easily cleaned up. Now you just got to keep Mula safe. And Forfeits might have another easily 1 mid on their hands.
No, Mula is not safe. He's alone. There's just basically a scout running away from him, but okay, they have finally met up here, and he is going to be safe. I mean, Juno is still on the prowl here. He wants to get in here so badly, but Nevo plays the good pocket part, takes him down, cleans up nicely. Mula's going to be having this nice, fat, juicy 100% Uber advantage to moving up to second and probably even into last. They're doing a good job of just clearing out the area. Maybe trying to spam down some sentries before they move in here, but that ended up being really good here. They came back to Mula just in time.
Yeah, I think they knew that like there wasn't too much aggression. Yak was on 1 HP, he couldn't like just run in and get on Mula, right? So it worked out for them. That full Uber is coming through amazingly, immediately through that door, locking down everything you can. They have found 1 frag onto Tyrion right before this push even happened. Eon goes down as well, so even if this push goes south, which it doesn't, they would have been set for a repush, but it doesn't matter. They just kept people off the point for long enough. A second round in the bag for Forfeits, and we've only played for 7 minutes, so they're on pace. They're certainly on good pace right now.
Yeah, this is halfway what I expected, and definitely what they were hoping for on Forfeits. Just quite cleanly here, being able to take these. I want to say the mid fights have not been very decisive, but they do win them, and then they manage to do it
matters,
anyway.
right?
Yeah.
See, they win this one as well as they take it to a third one. Again, lots of early aggression out of both teams with the spam, but Soldiers taking a little bit longer this time around before Forfeits Soldiers finally take some ground and manage to get themselves out again. Well, just narrowly, actually. Rougeman and Tyrion will trade eventually. Nidaking also kind of low. Matter of fact, everybody kind of low on Forfeits. They're spread thin. Mula's trying to keep everybody alive as best he can, but he himself is almost dead, and now he's getting chased by 2 more players. That's going to be a dead medic, surely, for the side of Forfeits. So 1 mid easily for Venomcrest, and the only threat they have to deal with is the Mule, who can't do much by himself when surrounded by 5 players. So a 1 mid for Venomcrest, decisively so, and they're already making their way to last.
Yeah, they want to just put them in the bin, lock them in their spawn, make sure that Evo can't really put up a good sentry gun. It's already gone down to Uber bin. This is the perfect turnaround here. They're going to put their own scout on the point now, and there we go. I mean, as far as clapping back, that's as fast as you can do it.
Yeah, it's probably as quick as rounds can get on Process. It can't get much quicker than that. That's incredible. And it puts them right back in it. I mean, 2-1, still plenty of time to play for. A 2-0 looks pretty bad even with 20 minutes left on the clock. A 2-1, it's pretty much anybody's game, right? And another mid like that, Venomcrest
21 minutes remaining. Yes.
looking really good. If they just take another mid like that, I guess we'll see. If it's just a little stumble for Forfence, or if they're... it's a thing of sign of things to come. Suppose we'll see. And now they approach this next mid fight again. An early high bomb there by the soldier, but not gonna go in just yet. Just gonna bide your time. Very low health again for everybody on Forfence immediately. Mula really having to work for keeping his team alive, but both teams playing a little more carefully. Around Varnu manages to slip around though, gets onto the combo. Lots of damage to Mula. Somebody will surely follow that up as they try to keep their own team alive as well. It's still an endless back and forth. Only one player falling on either side. It's a lot of strategic play at hand here. KN slips in, manages to get another frag onto a soldier. Finally, looks like a player advantage is materializing for Venomcrest, but the Uber is there for both sides as well, and it's a free ticket out of here at the very least for Forfence. Try and get themselves back into better positioning. Catch somebody out as the exchange is underway, but surely in this post positioning, Venomcrest are favored, at least at the very least. They should be able to push out these Forfence players.
Actually makes the best of that, just does a little loop-de-loop, gets one down, and Demoman are still in here. Somehow they managed to just get into a pretty good position. Point has not been captured out. Are you ready for round 2, Cerny? Time is ticking down, and we have no owner of the midpoint. As everyone's just gonna come back after a respawn, and this is a big bomb in from Blue. He does a lot of damage, but he does die. And actually, the follow-up in Cubic gets taken down as well. I think this is gonna mean the end of this, as they just have to retreat out of here on Forfence.
I think eventually they gotta give it up. I mean, they were trying everything to at least equalize the Ubers there, right? Eon survived that entire ordeal. Still alive as well. Big ad now for the side of Venomcrest. But crucially, at the very least, Forfence have probably bought themselves just a little bit of time to set up a last ult this time around. Last time they had no chance at all. This time around, they have a little bit of time at least. They're gonna get some stuff established. They're gonna have themselves at least half an Uber by the time Venomcrest pushes in. So they can stall for long enough and buy themselves a little bit more time. There's still a chance to hold this, Peter, but Uber comes in.
Yeah, it's 75% here on Uber, so he's still a ways away. He's down on the point here. Soldier's going to come in and block. There's still stickies on it, so it's okay. Actually, Soldier gets the Uber pretty heavily. QB is still fully buffed here on this head. They're about to have Uber. I think they just need to get Eon out of there before things go south. As Uber, he's just not getting touched at all here. Eon, he has run away. He does have a Soldier. Oh, they've split up. I think that was not on purpose. Please.
Eon's very left alone. Eats an arrow by Mula as well, but they're not going to chase too much faster. They're going to wait this out a little bit at least to set up Forfence. They're going to have to play this, at least a little bit strategically. They will Uber eventually to mid, probably fearing the sniper ever so slightly. You can't blame them, but it's a bit of a wasted Uber, don't you think? Not much of a come with it. It's just a bit of a zoning Uber, and now Venomcrest are going to have their own to respond with very soon again.
All you get is space. That's all you get out of this one. To be fair, it's not easy to Uber into mid here. We just saw it. It's basically the exact same thing that we're gonna see out of Venomcrest here as they try to push in. You don't want to use your Uber too fast because then this just happens where you don't gain too much. Tim has already gone down. KN has gone down. Baldo has gone down. Oh no, this Uber is about to not work at all. You never want to use an Uber 3v6. And Eon, it's so dangerous. If he just gets bopped a little bit, he's just gonna have to pop and retreat.
Yeah, no, they're out.
Yeah,
they're out of there. That's very respectable. Eon ate a lot of damage and choke, just barely escaped the juggling hell, and well, now they're back on last. So much for that Uber ad. When you just bleed all your players before you can even push with it, suddenly Forfence are on your own last, and you gotta defend yourself again with that Uber ready for themselves. Unfortunately for Forfence,
no, he dropped.
There's a sniper hitting every shot right
on
now.
99.
Oh no. But will he escape? Will he find somebody to keep him safe? EDK is gonna spawn, at the very least, so yeah, he's gonna get out for the time being. He will have that Uber until...
Oh my god. That was so chaotic. I swear, Eon was standing forever. He hadn't seen Demula, Bruceman, whoever it was, that was just standing right behind him, reloading a rocket as slowly as humanly possible. I swear, it took forever. And then he just shot him in the back for 112, and then he dropped. Yeah.
That's how it goes sometimes. Interesting. I mean, Orphan's back on that Uber now, able to get into second, at least with a little bit of pressure by Venomcrest. They're trying to buy themselves some time, but that second's gonna get capped off, and Forfans are taking the initiative. They know that they still have a bit of an ad. They want to get into this last as soon as possible, get that Uber out of the equation. Ideally, get some pressure going as fast as you can as well, but they're not really finding any frags. They're not really shutting down the spawn doors enough. They find Tyram, they find Yak. Bit of point pressure as well. Eon's gonna have his own Uber though, and they will use it just to try and protect this point for a little bit longer. Nobody in Forfans dies to it. Eventually, Dumul does, but that's just as he's trying to escape. And the refight still favors Forfans. They have more players, they have better positioning, and they just take it off the back of that. The re-aggression comes through. 3-1 for Forfans.
So many players got picked off there right before the Uber came in. And, you know, I talked about earlier, I'm pretty sure I said you don't want to use 3v6, and that's what they had to do. And they got one kill out of it, and then the counter aggression just immediately comes in. And the Bears just shot them so hard, they sold them off the point and then ran a scout on it and capped it out. It's extremely difficult to hold against that kind of pressure. So, another mid-fight here, EDK. Take more damage than Yak here initially, but nothing too major has happened just yet.
They're just taking it once more. Venomcrest happened on top of these mids still, so there's a chance they can turn it once more. Yak eats a lot of damage, but crucially still survives. They're keeping Dumul under control for now. Nobody dying just yet. There's a long drawn-out mid-fight again, a war of attrition. Somebody has to eventually fall. It will be QB as the first in the respawn queue, but surely somebody else will follow as well. Maybe this is enough for Forfans to just try and get out of there. Matter of fact, EDK gets caught trying to escape, and it's enough for Venomcrest to win the mid. And it's certainly not as decisive as they would like it to be. Even if there's pressure onto second, they're just going to be met with an Uber. Ideally, it goes their way, but they have to work for a little bit more, I think. And Uber comes out. Eon, no pressure at all, finally has to pop himself, but this is looking so good for Venomcrest.
Yeah, no one's really in a good position here for Forfans. Dumul is way behind lines. Rusman is trying his best to hold the high ground. Actually doing a pretty respectable job, man.
Oh, Dumul!
Oh, Eon goes down. All of a sudden it's safe. He was so far behind line, people forgot about him. Everyone forgot about him, and then he just comes in from behind like a missile, just takes down Eon, completely flips everything on its head. And it's just going to be a matter of, can KN here and Choke save things? Actually, he can. He takes him down.
All right.
Wow. Big soldier plays coming out right now.
Somehow miraculously finds the rocket onto Mula he needs to there, probably single-handedly keeping Venomcrest in this round, because without that, that would have been a lot harder to keep themselves going.
Look at Barnu, he's doing it again. He's just sitting in a corner on heavy.
They want to make the heavy play work so bad. Unfortunately, this time they don't have the crits, but perhaps they don't need them. Perhaps it didn't. They learned their lesson. It didn't work last time. They're just going to have the heavy be a bit more aggressive instead and see how that works out for them. Unfortunately, both Juno and Yak died trying to get into mid. Tyram is almost dead as well, and looks like Forfans have another free ticket into second here.
Don't worry, Barnu's sitting in a corner on heavy. This will work. He's actually on the medic.
Yeah. I mean, does a lot of damage, but there's nobody to follow it up at all, and just didn't quite work. Didn't quite work out. Now another chance for Venomcrest to have to hold their own last. I mean, gotta make it work. Ubers are kind of equal. Players-wise, they're also pretty equal, but Forfans are already so aggressive. Look how much just damage EDK is trying to lay down. Eventually, he gets caught out, and Tyram cleans up that kill, but they still pick up a trade anyway with KN going down, making it harder for Venomcrest to truly get out of here. I mean, Tyram's trying his best, but going to be shut down very easily, and I don't think there's going to be much more aggression outwards. I rescind my previous statement. They're actually out, and they even used their Uber.
Yeah, Eon gets forced out here, and there's so few people out here right now. The response is so good for Forfans that everyone has retreated back to last, and Mula, he's going to have this full Uber ad. I think they're just looking for a center gun. There's a level 1. It takes one sticky, basically. Oh, what a snipe from Juno. He does it again. So dangerous on that class. He just hates medic having Uber. He takes it away from him. But actually, they're making a lot of this fight, to be honest. QB's still behind lines here, being scary. And look at that.
Oh my God.
EDK snipes Yak. This is not over yet. It's just one scout left, but everyone's so weak. Evo's on the point. Can they do it?
There's no way. There's no way. Okay. Alright. Like, that went on for way too long. For that entire thing, I was spinning around like, man, why did Venomcrest like overstay their welcome on second so much? They really not have to use their. They're so screwed for last now. Juno just whips out a crucial clutch shot onto Mula, to keep them in the match. Now they just narrowly hold the last. They're trying to get it on the second here as well, but Forfans are not giving this one up without a fight. They're still staying in this. They're still aggressive.
20
matter of
HP.
fact, they might just get that frag. He doesn't even have yet. Like, it's not like he could pop to save himself. He finally does have Uber, and they might just try and catch up Forfans here, who are already retreating as best they can. Unfortunately for them, they don't have an Uber button, and there's a couple of scouts running you down who are just going to kill
Demo's going to try to
combo.
come in, the patented save, and actually with the help of... Yeah, just launches his way to QB's scattergun, and now QB's behind line being annoying. So this is not a good game to be a medic, I think. It just seems like every time you have an advantage, there's about an 80% chance there's going to be a soldier in your face, and he's going to get you.
Just gonna come right in. Matter of fact, there's another soldier here trying to stop this Venomcrest mid-cap from happening. Brugman just very aggressive to move to follow up as well. Doesn't quite hit the air shot, unfortunately, but well, eventually they do at least clean up Ugg frag, and they do hold onto the midpoint as well. Having to pay 2 players for it, probably not ideal, but you still have an Uber ad for a set of Forfans as well, and Venomcrest are gonna have to work for this one. They can't quite get this mid for free. Have to put in a bit of hours, and a bit of coordinated aggression could be what they need. Unfortunately, a soldier going down straight away isn't going to make it any easier, and yeah, they just have to get out of there again.
Yeah, KN's job there was to buy space, so as soon as he goes down, you just know you can never actually get in there. And unfortunately, Vanu is unable to retreat in time. They're not going to be able to get out. Actually, Yak goes down super weak, almost trades out with Brugman.
Oh, they found Mula? Wait,
what?
His trap found Mula.
This is the sneakiest trap. I had not even spotted it. Yak was
I knew it was there. I just forgot about it completely. I did not expect that the blind debt would just actually get Mula from that. That's incredible. That's, again, another clutch play keeping Venomcrest in it. They do lose second, but they have a beautiful chance to leapfrog this right back all the way to the enemy second, ideally. Obviously, Forfans have to be aware. They probably want to get that Uber out of the equation as soon as possible on the side of Venomcrest. Ideally, they don't even want to use it. Eon has to, though. I mean, it's a good time. I guess there's a lot of players bunched up, but they already dropped Yak before even getting in. And maybe, just maybe, it's overstaying its welcome ever so slightly, but Forfeits are getting away with a lot. They find KN as well. Eon's still not willing to keep his team alive here. Ideally, you want to get out of that Uber now, but he didn't convert anything off of that, and now Varnu and Tiram are also dangerously low. Matter of fact, the former is dead, the latter just narrowly escapes as Junu tries to hold off whatever he can, but that turned from a great situation into something where they're now suddenly on the back foot again.
Yeah, they do have to be a little bit careful though. Mula does not have Uber, Eon does, so if they just walk around the wrong corner and Eon is there, they're just gonna get popped on. We just saw it before in Choke. Don't know how they just got demolished, right? So it should be fresh in their mind how careful they need to be. Demo tries his best to get out there, but he's just too weak, unable to make it out of Choke. And I think that should invite in Venomcrest now here to see if they can do something. KN and Tim, they're gonna jump in, do their best to distract you as Uber actually gets popped and choked. And Eon, he's on 30 HP. He has not popped yet. His Uber's gonna be so much better. Yes.
Unbelievable nerves on that man. Just still not popping. Mula, meanwhile, having to pop his own Uber off, keep his team alive. Nevo gets caught as the Uber is faded. Eon still just taking his team forward. I was giving him a little crap for not Ubering at all, but maybe he doesn't have to. Turns out they don't have to Uber ever. They're just gonna keep this advantage rolling forward forever. Now they have to try and get into second against, well, a couple of dead players from Forfans as well, only just now spawning. Brugman, the only flashbang really trying to make anything happen. EDK maybe watching a sticky trap before retreating as well. The Forfans will have to hold their last. They will probably have an Uber very, very soon. But if Venomcrest move fast enough, they could catch somebody out here. At the very least, give themselves a lot of ground to work with as the Uber comes in. They get the sentry down immediately. A little bit of point pressure as well. Jun is already sitting on top of it, but gets immediately mulched off of it as well. Matter of fact, there's 2 players down. The side of Venomcrest isn't looking healthy. Dead as well. Tiram just barely escaping. And it's looking like a good Forfans hold into a second push.
Yeah, I will now list all of the players that died for Forfans doing that push. List is now complete. Not a single person died. That was just a perfect hold out of them. And I thought they were just going to have to milk it until Mula actually got that Uber, but no. Well, we have KN in spawn. I think maybe they spotted the... Well, now they know where he is.
Now they know.
Yeah. He took down Nevo. Yeah, I think he just realized he had to do something. I mean, he's still playing it, so...
I mean, they haven't smoked him out of the snipers nest just yet. EDK, matter of fact, actually gets caught out by a lot of aggression in the door, and That demo being out of the equation as well means Venomcrest don't have to fear this push as much. They're going to get their own Uber up again sooner rather than later. They're going to have the players to work with as well. As long as they don't get the Knight too much in choke here, this is an Uber exchange waiting to happen. Crucially, with a demo missing on the side of 4Fence, this could very much favor, especially in the post-fight. We'll see how it goes. The Uber is unleashed on both teams. QB's caught outside of the beam, and even trying to block as best they can. He's completely alone. Does he live? No, okay. I was about to say he lives somehow. Julie does it just 7 damage short, but the follow-up is there, and they find the frags they need to. This is looking like a great chance for Venomcrest to finally convert the round.
Yeah, Soldier's going to jump in very aggressively. Nevo is sniping, but he's not able to do much here. He has just been completely zoned into spawn, and there we go. 3-2. Venomcrest making this interesting. It really has been looking to me like, so far 4Fence has been the more, like the superior team, but some crucial individual plays have kept Venomcrest in it, but that is kind of reversed in the last couple of minutes where it just seems like Venomcrest keeps just outplaying them a little bit here, and yeah, they roll all the way back into last.
And they have another chance to give themselves some points here, and they're still down a round on the side of Venomcrest. With 5 minutes left on the clock, it certainly is feasible to take it to a golden cap, maybe even win a regulation, but they gotta have this mid on lock, and KN getting smoked out immediately isn't gonna make it any easier as the mid is finally underway. Lots of grounds for Venomcrest, but they're lacking the players. Crucially, they find Mula, so if they can win the war of attrition, never mind! They could have played off the heels, but the flank comes through for 4Fence. They just mulch the entire combo. It's EDK and Nevo versus KN on the other side, who was just now spawned, matter of fact. So if he makes it to mid in time, I guess he could deny his cap, but he's probably opting to be a little bit more careful with it.
Yeah, it's never a good fight to take when you're against a scout as one of the two players alive. But you're probably not gonna win that. So he's just gonna stand back and make sure that, you know, you don't see EDK sneak forward and put up some forward stickies or whatever. You know, might as well just keep an eye on it. So, nothing there to really see. And looks like 4Fence, they're very keen to just slow down the game now. They're actually at a point where they can just do nothing and they will win as time runs out. Oh, Tyrion is in, but he bumps into EDK on Spy there, and he actually has to slink out. He should have spotted the QBs on Sniper, so at least they know that. But that was some heavily, very, very pricey info.
Yeah, I mean, they knew of this Tyrion spy anyway, because just before QB switched to the sniper, he was checking. So he realized that they did have that spy, and Yak gets his head taken off, so clearly they weren't aware enough of the sniper. And another nice shot onto Juno as well. And a dangerous sight lane for Eon to just be in, but crucially, QB can't quite connect that one, so he'll stay alive for now. They'll keep that Uber in play for the defense on the side of Venomcrest, but 4Fence are really trying to make themselves have a nice cushion here. Get themselves secured on a process, because if they win this round, it's probably curtains for Venomcrest. Venomcrest really don't want that to happen. Ideally, they want to stay in this. They want to leapfrog coast to coast all the way back, but losing KN and Lobby isn't going to make it any easier, even if you trade it out for a couple of crucial frags on the other side. Yak also in a lot of danger, does live though. So much aggression out of 4Fence for that matter. Brugman also so much forward, eventually dies, but I guess 4Fence have little to lose. They know Venomcrest have to make the move out anyway, no matter what, so you might as well bait them into it. Get yourself in a better positioning, and well, if the exchange goes your way, it's GG's, so I guess we'll see how they approach
take a single scout Uber. Looks like
close for Yak.
Runs to last, actually. Just put pressure on him with the back cap. Actually, will lose. What a pipe there from me. EDK is going to take down the scout. Second scout will come out here, and actually does manage to cap out second. So far it's actually going okay here for Venomcrest.
Yeah,
they're making a lot of headway into this midpoint.
Making it work, ever so slightly, but they have to keep the momentum going. 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Yak trying to get onto Mula. He does eventually kill him with the roller. Does get away with that little bit of aggression. Crucial in keeping Venomcrest in this. Now they just have to make sure Eon gets his Uber up. They keep him alive, and they keep the pressure going. 2 minutes, 13 seconds is not a lot of time to work with if you're trying to work from your own second. You have to keep the momentum up. You have to win every single fight up ahead. And all it takes is one misstep, one stumble, and things can go south very quickly for Venomcrest. So they'll have to lock this in very, very well. And well, they're making their way into mid as we speak. The Uber does come out. We'll have to see how it treats them after it's over.
Yeah, it's just a single Boozman bomb basically that gets the job done there. Really great job by him. Mula's on 50%. So they can still try to go in here and get some stuff done. Demul is behind lines. They definitely know about it.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh. Kane's trying the same on the other side. Gets in very deep, does live as well. See, aggression from Venomcrest comes through on the other routes as well, and they do manage to get themselves into second as well. Do get that unlock. This is crucial. This is very crucial for them. They have to convert this last push. It is their only chance at getting themselves to a golden cap, getting themselves some points off of this 4-fence match. 4-fence on the flip side. Slightly favored on holding this. Unfortunately, Demul goes down trying to get out, though. It's going to make it a little bit harder to hold this. The Uber is still in their favor. It's going to take a little bit longer for Eon to get it. As they can hold this off ever so slightly longer, the time will favor them. A minute left on the clock. It's do or die time. No second chances for Venomcrest. They have to lock this in as soon as they can. The Ubers come out for both teams.
Saved
so
with 2
close.
HP.
Does live. It's going to be a little bit longer. But too much cap time. They have to get on that point now. There has no choice for 4-fence. They have to stand on it. Venomcrest are down 3 players. Everybody alive for 4-fence. It's going to be a lot harder to get in, and they're just getting mulched trying to approach the point. It may be Jover, but 30 seconds is still time to work with if second doesn't get capped, which it most certainly will.
QB took like 900 damage in that push. He should have been dead so many times. Like, he got flashed at the very end. He got arrowed 2 times while he's about to die, and he walked into spawn and did the Bambi bind with like 2 HP left. That was disgusting. Just, heavies, man. If you hate heavies like I do, that was just the worst sight you've ever seen today, this week. Disgusting. But great hold there. Just could not time that uber better. And there we go. Wasn't pretty, but 4-fence they take it. 3 points.
Wasn't as much of a roll as the first couple of quick rounds made it seem it was going to be, but eventually they win nonetheless, and that's what matters in the end, right? The score on the scoreboard doesn't matter for the score on the tables at the end of the day. So map 1, 4-fence, and we'll see if anything can be coming out of Venomcrest in response. I suppose we'll have to see how they handle it, because they were looking close. I feel like if they had another like 5 minutes there to comfortably work with, that would have been a very different scoreline. I feel like they could have easily taken it to a golden cap, and at that point, the world's your oyster, right?
Yeah. On the flip side, I would say that there were a bunch of really good individual plays to take down Mula that really turned the game on its head a bunch of times, right? Like Juno sniping him. The Yak sticky trap, like the blind dead, I'm pretty sure it was, where he almost died right before. And then obviously we also had KN just jumping through a choke into 4 players and still somehow getting Mula. So there were a bunch of those plays. Yeah.
Half of Mula's deaths were to KN. I just had a quick look at that. Who was on top of him had his number every step of the way, and it kind of shows. But yeah, looking at some of the logs immediately, it kind of like the general stats kind of like reflect a little bit what we saw, as in 4-fence kind of being overall stronger, right? They dealt more damage, they got more frags. Standout play, Kaon really putting the team on his back, but it just wasn't enough, right? Unfortunately. 300 damage out of June was also crazy, mind you. But EDK putting down a monster game. You were doubting him on demo, but
yeah, he does the damage. That's for damn sure. Can't put a finger on that. But yeah, I mean, KN just going 28 and 20 on Roamer on Process is kind of nuts. Process is pretty known for being like this map where you go in for a play on Soldier and then maybe you force the medic and then you die. Right? This is kind of what you do when your KD is awful. Always. Your damage is trash, but you're making plays. Not Can. He was doing a lot of damage. Has 0 caps though, so bad player.
That's what truly matters. It's a stat that we care about, but yeah. I mean, yeah, what else is there to glean from this? I think overall, you can just see overall 4-fence just having a slight edge, right?
Yeah,
and shows what the scoreline came out to. The Medics were not having a good match. Yeah, they were both struggling.
Yeah, that's a lot of deaths for a Prem match, I think.
21 deaths across both Medics is quite a lot, indeed. I mean, they're keeping their team alive more than they're keeping themselves alive. That's just how it goes sometimes.
Well, good news and bad news for these medics is that Sunshine, you can't quite jump through the choke in the same way. But bad news is you can a little bit, and overall Sunshine plays quite similarly to Process. So nothing should really change too much, I think, as far as medic safety is concerned.
Yeah,
it's a little more open this mid, so you can kind of see your doom coming. But for some people, that's not very reassuring either way. But hey, maybe if you have godlike movement, it's fine. You can actually use that to your advantage.
it's always an opportunity. But yeah, realistically, I do think if both teams continue playing at this level right now, we may very well look at another close map with Sunshine. I think the similarity to Process in the way it plays is close enough that it's not going to boil down to map choices tonight. I think it's not going to be like, oh, this map suits this team more and this map suits this team more. I think, they both clearly played decently well on Process at about equal levels. After Venomcrest got warmed up, they did eat a little bit of crap at the start, but after the first couple of rounds, they woke up, they got into it. So yeah, I think if both teams continue playing at that level, there's a good chance that this is going to be another close map, and it could be anybody's game. Forfeits are not in the clear yet. They eventually won, I guess, the war of attrition at the end, right? They bled enough time, but they can't get away with that forever. They have to still play on Sunshine as well as they can, and I guess that's I feel like the first mid fight is going to spell a lot, because I feel like Venomcrest were on top of those more often. I mean, it was 3-for-3 mid fights on the last map.
Yeah, but I kind of agree with you. It does feel like Venomcrest won more, but maybe it's just because it was streaky, right? They won 3 in a row.
Yeah. I think they also just won more decisively when they won the mids, I feel.
Yes.
Like, I feel like Forfence won some mids, or like they got the first caps, but they never really won all that strongly. They killed like a couple of players. Venomcrest just backed out for a bit, and then they immediately re-aggressed because they're just a whole W team. They don't know how to back out. They're so aggressive, and they love the chaos. So that just kind of favored them, right? And Forfence being a little bit more methodical, a little bit slower team, trying to take it a bit more reasonably, got caught out by that a couple of times. Yeah, in the end, they were also still aggressive on their own side when they had to be, but yeah, I think that the mids may still end up favoring Venomcrest anyway, if they can get away with what they want to get away with.
Alright, hot take here, Sony. I think Sunshine is a better map for having a heavy in a corner than Process.
I agree. There's more hidey holes. It's more dark corners as well.
And they're prime real estate in a lot of ways, right? Like once you walk around some of these corners, you're overextended and you just die immediately.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think this is Varnu's time to shine. It's gonna work this time.
This time around for sure. I mean that valley is just asking for a heavy around the corner as the team just pushes in, or cafe. Oh,
like
juicy.
It's a classic to have a soldier in that corner of the cafe or the sewer. Sorry. Yeah, like every single flank has the opportunity to do it. So yeah, I think this is the time, and even in lobby, you can sit around a couple of places and just get him. All right. Okay, so who do you think is going to take this first mid fight? Because I quite agree with you that it's going to be pretty telling of the result of this match.
Yeah, I think it's going to spell the pace, or what we're going to see for the next 30 minutes. I think if Venomcrest can get what they want out of the mid, aka if Kayn and Tyram can get away with the bombs they want to do at the start, just get some aggression down. They manage to kill EDK or Mula early, and then the scouts crucially keep Eon safe, like Varnu and Junu, maybe stay a tad bit more passively, keep their combo safe from the counter bombs, obviously. I think that's gonna be the edge. I feel like as good of a soldier duo as the Mul and Rougeman are, if Tyram and Kayn hit their stride, they are unbelievable what they can get done. So if they can get away with it on this mid fight, I feel like they can win that first mid fight. But if they get shut down well enough, if QB and Nevo are on top of it, then it's going to be hard to say. At that point, it becomes anybody's game, I think.
Yeah. I have this feeling that Demul and Rougeman are just going to cause absolute chaos on the flanks, but I don't see why they would do it more than Kayn and Tyram, to be honest. So yeah, it might just come down to the scouts cleaning up or EDK hitting another clutch pipe. So I have a feeling Forfeit's going to win this first mid fight and the map as well, but yeah, it's going to be like a 4-2 or something, I think.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that I expect it to be a higher score, even though I think the map is going to be a little bit slower. So yeah, time will tell if they actually fail their last pushes more or less than on passes. But we are live. Forfeits won the first map, 3-2, pretty close. Got very messy there. So let's see if Venomcrest can actually get their revenge and get some crucial points for their playoff hopes.
It's keeping them in the game. If they can get anything off of this match at all, they have a chance of still making it, but they gotta work for Forfeits. They are reigning champions of Prem after all, so it's gonna be tough. Soldiers traded out either side. No soldiers, matter of fact, for either team remaining on this first mid fight. It's gonna be scout demo duels with heals being shoved up their behinds, and they're just rotating around each other, feeling each other out. It's a bit of a dance around this middle point, and it looks like it's favoring ever so slightly Forfeits. They have a bit more position, they're a bit more aggressive, but QB eats a lot of damage. The respawners eventually are going to make their way as well. Yeah, they're coming back. They're going to maybe swing this a little bit. With Varnu going down as well, it looks like the tides are turning. Forfeits will eventually come out on top of this. Crucially, the Ubers are exchanged as well, and it's looking much better for the side of Forfeits. And there you go, they win the mid eventually.
No one decides to jump through these chokes. Probably a wise decision here, as this is going to be the slowest mid fight I've ever seen on Sunshine. Big bomb in here and choke here coming out of KN. Unable to really get anything here. And actually, Timur has jumped behind. He is fighting a scout though, so yeah, it's not going to last long here. QB has made his way in here as well. Just right now, Forfeits are just being absolute rats, just getting everyone behind. But with two players going down, they're going to have to call it off. And now it's going to open up the window here for Venomcrest to see if they can get it themselves.
Counter aggression coming through. They do have the players to work with, and Forfeits aren't really keen on fighting that one either. Both teams close to Nuber again as well, but don't really want to stick that one out for too long. The Uber wasn't quite going to be ready in time. It would have been a very scrappy fight. You can't blame Forfeits for taking slow there. As the bombs already come through, just to be a bit of a flashbang here and to follow up. It gets directly onto Mula. The fadeaway air shot did not hit, and the follow-up isn't quite there either. Mula will live. Didn't pop either. Gotta respect that. Didn't fear the splash rocket or anything. So stay in there, but a crucial attempt out of KN to try and open things up for his team immediately.
Yeah, he got hit really hard by a scatter shot right as he was about to shoot his second rocket, so he was just completely off because he got pushed so much. So luckily there for Mula. Gets saved by a scout. And, oh yeah, Yak, that's a big pig. That means you can just walk through the choke relatively unscathed. It's just going to be soldier spam. And they're going to do just that. Look at that.
Yeah,
they're in.
They're just getting themselves in there straight away. Matter of fact, the Uber's forced out of Eon. Is just trying to keep his team alive as best he can. Juno, unfortunately, does get dropped out of it though, and Forfeits have no reason to pop themselves. They're just chasing this out. Matter of fact, Eon will go down as well as he gets caught out, and it's not looking great for Venomcrest immediately off the back of that. They have to get that force out of Mula as best they can, but Forfeits aren't letting that happen. They're bunkered up around that team, making sure nobody slips in, no cheeky soldier bombs or anything like that, and they're just going to secure second as well.
On the scout here.
Okay. But we'll die eventually as well. It's still traded out regardless, so...
Oh, yeah, another sneaky trap there on point. This time around, though, not Mula that's the victim. It's going to be Levo. They have no scouts to cap out, though. That's so annoying for them. This Uber ad, it's going to be very difficult to use it. It's going to be an old school Uber with no scouts involved.
Very interesting. I mean, it still is much better for the side of Forfeits because Eon goes down anyway, so they don't have to worry about this Uber being bad or being misused. They're just gonna have to make sure Mula lives as well, which is being a little bit of a questionable thing, but it does happen eventually. EDK even kills Tyram, and there's a Soul Engineer with Varnu trying his absolute damnedest to hold that last point, and it's not gonna happen, my friend. Even the respawners aren't enough, and it is gonna be a one round for Forfeits. They come out swinging, not as quickly as last map, but still, I mean, under 5 minutes for the first round. It's not great. It's not bad at all. Not great for Venomcrest, but not bad for Forfeits.
Yeah, Mula did a great job there of just holding on to the Uber for such a long time and popping it with perfect timing. You really got to give him credit there. The Ubers were just so much better out of offense, right? They just held on to it forever. In a lot of situations where a lot of people would just pop it, just because you know it's an exchange situation, you just held on to it. They could use it much later.
Well, we'll see how they can keep this momentum going. Perhaps Venomcrest find their way back in just immediately as the next mid-fight. Well, it's underway. It's a bit slow, and nobody's died just yet. Forfeit's going dangerously low early on again, though. Just everybody's so low. Mula trying his best to keep his team alive. QB will be the first to fall as Venomcrest bully their way forward, and off the back of positioning alone and one Soul Scout pick, they will win that mid-fight as well. It's not a very decisive one. And there's certainly a chance for re-aggression here, but we'll have to see how well it goes. Tyram has to be a bit of a flashbang early, a bit of a soldier aggression. Kayan comes in as well and cleans up that frag with some nice coordination onto a Bruggeman. So a soldier missing for the side of Forfence, and lots of aggression actually coming in immediately.
So much damage as well.
Follow it up, yeah.
Forward, yeah. They just end up bleeding everyone else out. That was such good pressure and spam coming out of here. Venomcrest just buying so much space just off of that kind of pressure. That's great. They're still going to have this full Uber going into last.
They're going to try to use that as best they can. Obviously, Forfence have to counter pop. Actually, they had to use first as they try to just keep their team alive. Eon obviously not very healthy either and just using the Uber to escape, but so much cap time for Venomcrest. And, man, well, some chances for Forfence to get out here. They certainly want to. They have to be careful. They can't quite rest on their laurels just yet. Yak's going to have some cheeky sticky traps perhaps. You got to watch out for those until you're sure he's out of the equation. He's back out to mid, and they will cap second off the back of that. They'll look at themselves secured. Yak with another cheeky sticky trap in the ammo pack. Perhaps it will work, perhaps it will not. Have to see how Forfence try to push this in as Kayan goes down. There goes Tyram as well. No soldiers, both of them just caught in Valley. Yak trying to be aggressive, maybe hold the team off a little bit, but Kubi's the only one to fall on their side as Eon gets just left alone on mid. Cleaned up as well. It's only Varnu alive, and I mean, you're a Soul Scout, probably just spawned. You're not gonna have a good time.
Oh, if only he was on heavy here, Cerny. Look at that. Prime heavy position. Okay, actually, no one
good
went
flank,
that
though.
way.
I mean, yeah, nobody's looking at all. He's just directly behind Mula.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Three shot. One more.
All right.
Oh my god, he gets Mula.
You take those. Mula maybe a little bit too ballsy on that one, expecting his team to have his back, but you know, you don't quite get every meat shot. Doesn't matter. The pistol's there to clean it up, and that's a crucial pick. Perhaps a questionable hold out of Mula and a questionable drop.
I don't blame Mula one bit. His team should have absolutely saved
they should have been on top of that scout way sooner. But hey, what can you do? It works out, and there you go. That keeps Venomcrest in the match crucially. Again, an individual play, somehow, some way, just keeping them in this. And I mean, it's Venomcrest they gotta keep it going though. They're still on loss. Pushing out a Sunshine loss a lot harder than pushing out a Process loss. So, you know.
How do you do this properly, right? You're only gonna have about 20% of Uber advantage as you push out here. That's not a lot going out of last, and it's relatively easy once you get a pick or two to sneak someone through lower, and they can just threaten the back cap. So it looks like they might just not be able to do anything or choose to do anything. And actually, it's going to send in this Bruggeman, and he hits one perfect rocket onto Eon, but unfortunately dies before he can get the second one off. As he's just going to teleport around. That's cool.
Farm points with the teleporter. That's respectable.
Yeah. We're going to be like, wow, Maru is having such a good game. Why does he have so many points?
That's how it's going to go. Yeah, I mean, this is a crazy situation just for it to still be even in after all this time, and now, I mean, Venomcrest are down a round. It's plenty of time, so worst case they play for the round reset here, right? Pushing out is very, very tough without a sizable advantage to work with, and obviously Forfence aren't going to give them that. But that Juno sniper...
He was on banner, so he was trying to get that sizable advantage, but he just got immediately taken down. Juno's going to get taken down again here. Soda's in on the mech.
They get the force, and they actually mulch the entire team in that as well. It turns out they just walk in. They take down the sentry. Yeah. They have Juno hits like a nice headshot or whatever, but it doesn't matter. You just ignore the sniper. You just go out of his sightline. Can't do anything. You just kill everybody else. You get the Uber forced. Your entire team is now out and ready to push in with the Uber follow-up, the re-aggression, and it's a push for Forfence to win, and it's Venomcrest's push to hold somehow, some way. Certainly have an easier time. Sunshine a bit easier to hold and process, but They'll have to work for it as Uber comes in, and they need to be able to get out of spawn at some point after it fades. Halftime's being put down as well. It's quite tough to try and get them off the point again, all those Frenchies, and you know what? They're doing an admirable job at it.
Yeah, they are getting the two most important players out, which is Mula and a scout to run with. So it's not a complete disaster, but they didn't really gain anything there on that push. Very unfortunate. Ian's about to have a full Uber as well. He might decide to go for something. I'd love to see him try to run into 6 players and see what happens. Looks like he's not going to do just quite that. But we do have Venomcrest trying to make their way in here through Cafe. There's a soldier up on the high ground just ready to rain down death on the medic. He hasn't really been spotted.
A soul demo? I mean, he's just kind of getting away with a lot. Brutal
oh
gets
my
out
god,
as well.
The snipe out of Mula takes down Eon. That is so clutch. Oh my god.
That wasn't even on my radar as like a possibility that could happen. That's Prem winner Mula right there for you. No, he gets away with that. I mean, they give up the midpoint. Venomcrest are going to cap it, but is it going to matter? Forfeits are just going to come right back in anyway. They have that Uber as well. Ideally, obviously, they don't want to use it. But if they got it, as long as they can catch some players, it's good enough for them. But just off the back of that for free, that's as good as it gets. Junu's in, trying to maybe get that medic to force. Will Mula hold again forever? And this time he does not. Even though he could have. You know, 2 for 2, I guess.
Actually saves people. It'll happen sometimes. Yeah, EDK is pretty aggressively here though. Looks like he was just this bit of a smokescreen for the soldiers that came in. And the aggression is just coming on thick right now, and Forfeit, I think they're just going to slowly manage to bully everyone from Venomcrest out, even taking down KN. That's nice. That's one less soldier that you have to worry about being on your medic's head. And actually, Demoul's going to try and see if he can get the demo man there. Not quite able to get there.
I mean, I respect taking the initiative. They're probably aware that Eon doesn't have yet, right? They probably know that they're not going to have to worry about the Uber just yet. They're not going to have to worry about, you know, that. So like if they had even more aggression there, maybe like Bruchman going in as well, it could have worked for them. Because they also know that even if they lose 2 players on the side of Forfence, it's gonna be very tough for Venomcrest to push out of last, even with a bit of an Uber ad. So they could have gotten away with a lot more there. They don't have to. Again, they're still up around anyway. Any round time or clock time, map time bleeding down is always gonna be good for Forfence here. That they can get away with a lot. And well, they're having to defend themselves in the lobby right now as Tyram and KN, well not KN, but that could actually have both of the soldiers went in. Trying to do something there, doesn't quite work out for them. Timul tries to follow up with a bit of counter aggression. Doesn't work out either, but again, 2 soldiers down for Forfence only opens a small window for Venomcrest to do something, and it's not going to be easy for them to get much done. They have a sniper trying to see if they can play around that Junu headshot potential, but Forfence seem to be aware of this potential now as well and just positioning themselves nice and passively, making sure that those sightlines are not an issue.
Yeah, it's basically, you can snipe kind of forward on the right side a little bit, but you can't see the door anymore. Like, I remember back in the old days when the door was just in a straight sideline from last, you could just shut down the entire right side as a sniper, but you can't do that anymore. Thank God. They actually fixed that. So it's pretty difficult to do too much here on sniper on last, unless you wait for them to walk into you, which, hey, Bruchman will absolutely do here.
Yeah, and Demul also walks into Yak's sticky trap, so there's another 2 soldiers down, another chance for Venomcrest to get something out themselves, and oh, the aggression is there. They do want to get down to the second point. Matter of fact, they're putting down a lot of cap time on it as well. Soldier, aka Tyram, will eventually pay with his life for it, but QB gets shut down with another headshot as well. Juna hits that and gets the shot on Mula as well. Gets away with that one. Somehow just sneaks that in. Venomcrest, a beautiful chance for them to get themselves out here, but they have to make sure Eon keeps that Uber in play. There's gonna be hell let loose onto this last, and oh my god.
Those rockets were just nasty onto
Unfortunately, it's not enough to keep Eon's Uber alive.
No. Ooh, nice pipe out of EDK there. It's gonna take down Tyram as he was trying to make his escape here. Pushing out to second, still gonna be a very difficult task here. There's a single scout. Okay, actually somehow escapes there. Great job by Varnu. Just slithering out. Just somehow managing to get there. So there we go. Lots
all
of
of that-
chaos, and we're back where we started.
A lot of chaos and another reset straight back to where we were. Venomcrest couldn't capitalize on the insane chances they were given by Junu trying his hardest to solo carry the team. Now they have to hold last some forevermore as Brugman goes in for a sack, gets taken down. Demol, same story. Both soldiers down again. I mean, this is where Venomcrest strives. This is where they have their stuff work out, and I mean, that's a dangerous angle to just let Juno have to begin with, as he just walks even further forward, trying to get those snipes down. He is the playmaker right now. They try to work around it. Varno gets taken down on the point, though, and that's probably one pick too many that they don't want to have to worry about. So straight back to loss it is for Venomcrest, as Forfence aggress once more. And we're starting to get into the round reset territory. There's a minute 25 left on the clock, so it's starting to look like Venomcrest might just want to go for another mid-fight instead.
An exchange, okay. Perhaps.
Yeah. Just an exchange, get some stuff done, then get out, and then hopefully go back in. However, Demol, not sure what he got hit by, but he ended up killing himself there. So
Unfortunate.
yeah, at least Uber's out of the way now, and also Demol, he could do stuff like go on to the man treads, that kind of stuff. We haven't seen that at all. We see it a lot out of God and Panteria, I feel like, where they would go for that kind of play. He's just on gunboats though, so yeah, rip Demol and Brugman's KD, I guess. They're just gonna keep on suiciding it, I think.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I suppose it's just working, right? Again, at the end of the day, even if it's around reset, Forfence are up around, and they've bled so much time off the clock now, right? 10 minutes has it been since the last round was converted. They're gonna try another Uber in, see if this goes a little bit better for them. They built a bit faster, a little bit of better positioning now as the Uber's faded. Eon still hasn't had to use, and he's gonna have his own Uber soon, and everybody on his team is still alive as well. They found QB as well. And I mean, Venomcrest at this point, they probably don't want to push out. There's no reason for them
They're
to
being
do it.
baited so hard. Come on, guys. We just wasted an Uber. Push into us. Do it. I can just hear them say it in that French accent.
They don't want to do it, man. They don't want to. They know what's to be done here, and they want to go for that round reset. Respectable out of Venomcrest. They get themselves another mid-fight instead, and that was a grueling 10-minute round. Forfence trying their best to get into last and just not quite getting it done.
Unable to break the hold there, and also I feel like they really dodged some bullets as well. Well, ironically, as you know, Juno absolutely did not have his bullets dodged there.
Yeah, no,
he did so much damage, but still somehow Forfence ended up kind of making it out of that one just fine. But yeah, it got hairy a couple of times. Let's see what the mid-fights say. Those have been up in the air as well. It looks like there's going to be immediate aggression coming out of the Venomcrest soldiers here, but Beyond's just going to be punished for it.
The most crucial player on the team has fallen immediately, and there's no real aggression onto the side of Forfence, who've all just backed out, knowing full well what could be coming their way, as there's now just some straggling players on the side of Venomcrest trying to maybe get something cheeky done, but they just don't have the health. They can't commit too much. They gotta get out of there. And Forfence looking decent off of that mid-fight. KN can't quite get through with anything either. Gets caught out eventually, and they're just gonna keep this rolling forward. The Frenchie's not looking too bad. Trying to convert this into a round finally. Certainly a nice position. They're straight back to where they were at the end of last round. Unfortunately for Venomcrest, Yak is in no man's land and just dies for no reason. And now is in a respawn queue while his team is absolutely going to get destroyed on this last push by this Uber potentially. I guess we'll have to see how well Venomcrest kites it, but they haven't even had to pop it on the side of Forfence. They're just gonna play that point for free for so long. Eventually the Uber does come out. They're gonna try their best with pyro, air blast, and everything to keep people off that point. Marnu putting down his life for that point right now, but there's so much time on it already. So many players from Forfence still in, just pressuring it. Eventually they get forced back. They do hold on.
How is Demul alive? Okay.
A sliver, but my God.
Yeah, a really good hold here again. Just these last pushes have not been very good. They look so much cleaner and processed here for Forfence. Definitely something they need to work on here. So Brugman, he's just gonna limp out, and I think it's just gonna be a full-on mid-retreat here. No point in sending in anyone. They just want to have full players available and then hope that Mula can actually get this Uber in time. As it is one of the longer maps here, Sunshine, but hey, they're gonna do their best. They get in pretty far. Actually catches out a scout. Evo cannot escape.
I mean, that was a monstrous bomb by Yak, getting synced in midair and everything, and just about EDK not getting caught by the scout either. Unfortunate Juno doesn't get away with that one, but still, Venomcrest claiming themselves that second, and Forfence, even with that full Uber ad, they're gonna have a tougher time getting out here. Dumul's already dead. Mula trying to reconnect with at least somebody on his team. They're still keen to use this potentially. Get back onto the second, maybe get back onto Venomcrest, but
Mula drops.
yeah,
Mula gets it behind.
Left alone, Varnu gets away with that one, and that is spelling doom for the side of Forfence.
It is still not a good time to be a medic in this match. It is crazy just how much they've been getting punished. I don't know how many drops that is for Mula so far in this game, but
2 at least this match. This map.
Right, yeah, I feel like one on last map as well. So yeah, things have been rough.
I think that's kind of like his brand, though. It's been known to do that from time to time, and then still win anyway. So maybe it won't matter. End of the day, Forfence is still up around, right? Even if they go down one now, okay, worst case it goes to a golden cap. It's a heavy for the last push as well. I just spied my little eye. Varnu is on the heavy for this last push. Ate a lot of damage already, but just laying down some suppressive fire certainly could swing the tides here as the Uber has faded and post-Uber fight is underway. Frags have fallen. Both teams, crucially, more people are dying on Venomcrest though. And Forfence have held on for now. They're gonna have that Uber ready sooner as well, so they're not gonna have to worry about stuff for too long.
These last holes are unbreakable still. It really feels like no one has figured that one out yet on either team. So it's just going to be a second recap here. The Uber is about to come in as well. Varnu is on Sniper. Sniper has had a really high success rate so far in this match. So let's see if he can get another pick here as the Uber is about to come through flowers.
It's going to be at the angle that the Sniper's watching. Tyram gets taken down as well. But Varn is still in a forward spawn. They probably expect something like it. They're already sticking it off. So it's certainly going to be a tough Sniper play to make work. But if they're just unattentive for long enough,
Oh my
give him a
God, he actually
chance.
gets a decent look at it.
Give him a chance that he doesn't go get away with, but my lord, that could have gone poorly. Still, they stay in this Forfence, stay on top of it. Dumul does go down, trying to fight in the flank, but if that's all they lose, then I don't think Forfence are going to complain too much. So they can just hang out on mid for a while. Ubers are equal anyway, and it's got to be the initiative taken for the side of Venomcrest to do anything, because they're still down around.
Yeah. Bruceman gets aggressive in choke, and he does end up just trading out with a scout here. Honestly, a pretty decent trade overall. And actually, you can see Nevo's in pretty deep here with Mula as well. They're going to end up just popping it now. It's going to be an Uber exchange. Scout and Medic looking at Scout and Medic, and meanwhile, Soldiers are running behind. Demos are running forward. Actually, EDK might get caught out. No, rest of the team comes in, backs them up, and Varnu somehow makes it out alive. So, lots of space and lots of just zoning being exchanged there, but no real kills. Everyone just got out of that one alive. They went into the war, and they all came back home.
That's ideal. I mean, for some people, I guess. If you're trying to win, probably isn't the best outcome, but hey, gives Forfence another chance at trying to break this last hold. They struggled with it for about 10 minutes earlier, so we'll see if they do a little bit better this time. The situation is quite equal though. Juno's back on the Sniper as well. A dangerous man to have on that class. You're trying to go up against him, but at least he's relegated to last right now, so there's only so much you can do. It's going to be on Forfence to try and bust this. The longer they take, the harder it'll get though.
They're
Defenses
trying
get established.
to spam down the sentry gun right now. They're not really trying to pressure the demo man. That's pretty interesting. That tells me they want to send in some suicide. Here comes the soldier. Oh,
straight into the sentry. They do find it eventually, and Tyram goes down for his troubles as well as EDK just sneaks in a little spam pipe, but 2 soldiers for a sentry and a soldier, yeah, probably not the ideal outcome. And now you're given another opening for Venomcrest to try and re-aggress themselves again. At least a little bit. Juno really trying. Maybe get something in there, but nobody's eager.
Who's holding
Nobody
the door open for QB? So might be a sniper play here coming out. Yeah, it is indeed. No man threats or anything on Dumul or Bruceman, but still they're mixing it up a little bit. See if they can get something done with the sniper play. I don't hate it.
Trying their best to bust this last hold somehow. They've been struggling with it. Hasn't been their forte, so perhaps that QB sniper is the difference they need. Even just a good pick or a sniper duel one that they don't have to worry about Juno, right? Could turn things. I mean, Tyram going down, that's a nice little opener. opens things up ever so slightly. Now QB has another sideline to work with perhaps as well. And still has to worry about that other sniper on the other side, who's going to be very fully overhealed and forced to be reckoned with. But for the time being, it's looking like QB is coming out on top. He's getting the frag he needs to. Gets another shot onto Yak as well. The Uber is finally used out of Eon as he eats a lot of damage and just starts to keep the rest of his team alive, and it's working out beautifully.
Yeah, Sniper's really good when you're just hitting everything. My god. He might actually run back and just go scout as Boostman's about to respawn. I think he's just going to hold the door open for him. Yeah, there we go. Just perfect play out of QB. Gets those picks, gets the advantage for his team, and now he's going to see if he can come back and help with the push as well.
Well. That's an interesting one indeed. Turns out you don't need to stick on Sniper for long if you make the one Sniper play work out. And there you go. Now it's a beautiful chance for Forfence to actually convert this into last pushes. The Uber comes in as well. They don't catch anybody in spawn just yet, but they do at least find a sentry. Now they just got to make sure that nobody can pressure them too much before they can finally get some cap time down as well, which they do ever so slightly. But Venomcrest are fighting this. They've only lost one player, while 3 are down for Forfence, and the rest of them are escaping with their lives, considering they couldn't get the positions they wanted to quickly enough. Venomcrest slip out of spawn, and now they're actually back onto second and keeping up the momentum. QB goes down as well. Well, it just narrowly escapes with his soldier buddy.
Yeah, this last hole, it remains uncracked. Like, they just cannot do it. It's kind of crazy to see how they keep failing it over and over again, no matter how much of an Uber advantage they have. So, I think that at this point, you almost just have to let them, like, you have to roll them on second and roll it to last, right? That's the normal way to do it.
Yeah, just win on second. It's the only way. Well,
yeah,
I
4
guess
minutes remaining here, Cerny. They're going to need to do a lot of work, but it's still plenty of time to actually get this. They're only behind by 1 point here on Venomcrest.
Yeah.
And you can see that they're prodding here to send KM behind, but at least they're threatening.
It's very slow match so far, and Venomcrest finally takes some initiative trying to turn that around. They still have to make it another point at least. Try and take home anything off of this. At the end of the day, they are still losing right now, and Forfence, through their failed attempts, have bled so much time that now Venomcrest are starting to feel the heat a little bit, and they're not looking great in terms of position or health.
Gets in on Mula.
Find Mula though. Keep them in this. I think
It's just one play changes everything.
Maybe. They still have to push this last, which has been an impossible task so far.
True.
So, you know, anybody's game really. They don't have an Uber yet. Venomcrest can't, bite off more than they can chew right now. They have to wait for that Uber. They have to play this normally, strategically. Maybe get like a cheeky force in, or like not a cheeky force, a cheeky sack play perhaps, but I think they're just gonna play off that Uber. Know what they're doing with here. Get that Uber in as fast as they possibly can. Sentry's taken down. Now they have to actually make something work here. Work it better than Forfence can. Try and get players locked down. Get that cap time down as soon as possible. And they're doing a lot of it right away. Matter of fact, there's so much cap time. Players off the point, only one of them gets cleaned off of it as well. They're finding the frags too. They have solved the problem of pushing last on Sunshine. They figured it out.
It just took a ton of damage. There was just some really, really big pipes, and they pressured the point enough there that everyone had to stand on it, and then they took a lot of damage from explosive classes. I haven't quite looked at how aggressively they've been playing the point so far in these pushes, but I mean, at least in this one, they did a really good job of actually pressuring the point out. So there we go, 1-1, 2 minutes remaining. This is looking quite promising all of a sudden for Venomcrest.
Golden cap territory at the very, very least, but we'll have to see. They're still around on the board potentially. A little under 2 minutes is possible, but you have to win a decisive mid, and well, Forfen's already on the back foot. The Mool going down early, not making it any easier. They do trade up for Tyrum on the other side, and oh my god, everybody's dead on Forfens. They took so much damage, and a couple of frags get converted off the back of it as well. Matter of fact, if they're not careful, this could be a round going the way of Venomcrest without the golden cap.
Here's the thing. Mula is out safe on the opposing side. They're behind lines.
How are they there? They're just gonna
They just rotated around, I think.
They just died. No, they just died. Yak just killed
Mula's
Mula.
dropped again.
Mula just died to a sticky trap again.
I don't know quite how many times he's dropped, but it is quite a few.
That's spelling doom, but hey, you can still hold this. At least there's a chance. Spawners are going to be there for Forfence. The Uber is out, obviously, for Venomcrest as well, they get a lot of cap time down as well, but it's not looking good for Forfans. They will actually lose this somehow off the back of that. Very questionable flank combo play, I guess, and here we are. Venomcrest win the second map, because there's no way Forfans can clap back in 33 seconds. That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. I never thought it would have been here. I thought this was going to be a bit of a toss-up. I didn't think it would be this close on this map. And Peter has died, by the way. I'm left alone. I've just realized. I looked over at the Mumble and Peter is dead. They took him out back and killed him. Anyway, that's GG's. Well played by Venomcrest. Making themselves up some crucial points here to keep themselves in the playoffs race somehow. Because and this was probably one of the best chances they had, realistically, right? They had this. Next week they have Garda to go up against, which probably no easy order either, depending on who they decide to field. But you know, could very well make things tougher or easier for them. And then depending on how things go, who knows? Also interesting, Forfans continuing to stumble a little bit in this middle section of the season, huh? Dropping a map last week against Garda, now dropping a map against Venomcrest ever so slightly closely. Interesting ways of going. I have a feeling Peter's internet might have just actually died, so I guess I'll walk you through some logs or whatever, chat. Now there's just the two of us, now that we're just like left alone. Left to our own devices or whatever. I'm shocked, honestly. Forfans just ran out of steam, I guess. Ran out of steam towards the tail end there. Well, we... Alright. I mean... I know it was just a slow match. I don't know if you're gonna log on screen. EDK, again, putting down monstrous damage, honestly. I can't even, like, give Beater crap for it now, because he's not here anymore, but he was doubting EDK at the start of this. And yet here he is, top damaging again. Clearly that man knows how to play demo. He knows ball. It's that simple. But yeah, that was a much more closely matched game. You can tell. People are having a good time. And hey, look, Peter's back. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, my friend.
Did I miss anything good?
The match ended, and we have logs now. That's about it, really.
Wait, was it not 1-1?
I mean, Venomcrest won the last round. I guess he crashed much earlier than that. Okay.
Oh yeah.
No,
okay.
they won. They won. Venomcrest won.
Damn. Wow. Okay.
And Eon top damage again. You were doubting him.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I look pretty stupid. How many drops? 4 out of Mula. That's rough.
Oh, 4? I didn't even look at that yet. What? Jesus. That's... I think that's gonna be like a lifetime low. It's gotta be like a all-time low.
There were some pretty bad drops in there as well.
Just not looking good. He crucially got 1 frag onto Yondo, so you know that kind of like makes up for it.
Yeah, that does help a little bit. Yeah. That one drop that Eon has might actually be Mula. I can't remember if he had Uber or not at that point.
So Mula is somehow responsible for every drop that has happened this map.
Yeah, 5 drops on his on his conscious.
Very interesting.
That's crazy. Well, yeah, that's nuts that they actually somehow managed to throw the 1-0 lead and lose 2-1.
I think they just ran out of steam, ran out of stamina at the end, right?
Maybe they just thought they were in the grand finals and they remembered they were French. Not sure.
Yeah, true. But again, you know, we were talking about like the greater implications of this. I still don't think Forfans are gonna struggle to make playoffs. They're still second in the tables, pretty comfortably. They're not first now. They had a chance of taking first, but not quite. But you know, they also do have quite the backloaded season. The next couple of matches for them are not going to be much easier. So, but I still don't think they're going to struggle. It's going to be on Venomcrest.
But Venomcrest gained a lot here.
Yeah, they have a nice opportunity now. They have an actual chance because that puts them squarely in 5th place. Matter of fact, they're going to be tied with Anticide.
Yeah, although Anticide is 1 match behind.
Yeah,
right?
They haven't played yet. They haven't played Samakot yet. So, you know, we'll have to see how that goes. But still, if Anticide somehow drop more points, which is not necessarily likely, but we'll see, right? If they somehow drop more points when they really shouldn't, then there's an actual chance here
Yeah.
for Venomcrest to sneak into playoffs. I think that's their ticket. Is Anticide just kind of dropping off a little bit?
Yeah, it's not likely, but it is possible now, and that's worth something, I think, when you're Venomcrest.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I've got nothing else to add, Peter. It's been an interesting night. Certainly closer than I thought it would be. I expected this to be a bit of a roll, so I'm very much happy that teams put on a show. That Venomcrest clearly showed that they're still in this to fight this, and that they are a team worthy of at least playoffs, or at the very very least the land spot. They're in a couple of weeks' time, and yeah, that's it for this week for ETF2L. I think we're gonna see each other again this coming week, chat, for more matches. Stay tuned for that. Check the socials, all the usual stuff, and that's it. Good night.
I'm Magmena. Good night.